to the Freeman Motorsports channel. How are you guys doing today? No, we're just going to go with that forward. There we go. Rocking the HendrickCars.com hat as well as the shirt in honor of Larson putting that on pole last night. That was a pretty great performance from him then. It was really something I guess I didn't see coming, even though he was in a Hendrick car, which, you know, the Hendrick cars have just dominated Daytona qualifying for like 5-6 years now. So I feel like I shouldn't be as surprised as I was. But still, nevertheless, you know, with Kyle Larson's super speedway curse, he somehow had success in qualifying, and then let's see if he can follow it up in the duels and in the big shit. But how are you guys doing? Let's see. Oh, somebody's already been in the chat. Bill L. Hey everyone, what's up? Y'all ready for some bumping and banging in the use of the chrome horn? And of course, a lot of pissed off drivers. Woohoo! Let the 2022 NASCAR Cup begin. Yes, let the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season begin. Oh man, I'm so excited for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Also, guys, do you want the screen here? Do you guys want the screen? That was option 1. This is option 2. This is option 3. Option 4. Just let me know in the chat. I'm honestly so you're gonna have Kyle Larson starting on pole because he's full time. Now, I'm not really sure why. I assume he'll probably just pull off like as soon as he can. Oh, this is another thing. Casgarala is going to be going to the rear for unapproved adjustments. I mean, he's already probably starting back there. Yeah, he's already going to start 19th. So I mean, it's Daytona. You can make up ground pretty easy, but we really don't know yet because we've not seen the next gen race at Daytona. Honestly, just that aspect is what makes me so hyped for the first couple laps here. It's the first laps in a brand new car at Daytona in a pack, even though it's only 20 cars or 21, not the full field of 40. I'm so excited now. I really am interested to see how aggressive some people are going to be. You really aren't certain. Like Brad Keselowski in his pre-race interview was like, "We got one backup car. I'm in the first duel. Chris is in the second. That means I'm allowed to wreck the car. So I'm going to be pushing it." I mean, I still probably wouldn't want to wreck these cars even if you had a backup, just because it's probably like one of 3 or 4 cars you have in your shop. Still, I mean, Brad looks like he's going to try and be aggressive. And I mean, it's not like these guys are just going to sit back and relax the whole time. I do believe there are points awarded for the top 10. I'm not sure if they changed that. I know it was like that last year. And then there's also the battle of the open cars. You're going to have J.J. Yaley and Kaz Gralla in the Money Team car, the Money Team machine, battling it out. So it's going to be interesting to see who can be clutch in the biggest moment. J.J. Yaley, the seasoned veteran, or Kaz Gralla, the youngster with the big money backing from those boys over at the Money Team Racing. Also, guys, I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. We hit 17,000 1,700 subscribers yesterday, and then we had 1 subscribe, and so we're back under. So if we could just get enough of you guys to subscribe, we'll go back over the 700 mark. So the race will be starting soon, or at least the first duel. I'm going to see if do they have the green flag time somewhere? Let's see. I'm going to go to home. Well, usually we have a document somewhere that says, you know, when the duels are going to get the green flag wave, or at least the first duel. They can't really tell you when exactly the second is going to get the green flag. Never know. There's a ton of cautions in the first. Let's see. Is it here? Wait, this is here. We are on Thursday. This is 7 o'clock. So yeah, it's probably going to be. We just got the invocation and that type of stuff, so we should be getting the green flag pretty soon. They'll probably be rolling off the grid here in a sec. Kenneth Clark, let's go Chase. I mean, let's see if he can how he will do. He was the slowest of the Hendrick cars in qualifying, but you know what? that's not really something I'd complain about because he still qualified 5th. So, I mean, Chase and all the Hendrick guys, except Byron, because he got that win at Daytona, these guys really have been unlucky at the super speedway, specifically Kyle Larson. But, I mean, all these guys have started on the front row or up towards the front of the pack in multiple plate races, and it just feels like they're never there at the end. Chase did get that one win at Talladega the other year, but, I mean, outside of him, he has one win and Byron has one win. And other than that, there's no success really for the Hendrick guys at the plate tracks. Here where are we going? We're gonna go home, and then we're gonna go to the live leaderboard.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more.
Good.
I'm just gonna play Kyle Larson scanner, and that may be going through for you guys. Maybe it won't, but we'll see if getting any. Let's see what the spotter and him are talking about anything just yet.
They're channel 1 now, Cliff. Yeah,
Appreciate all you guys who are watching so far. If we get it up to 4, I think the goal for tonight is 44 likes for the Biff. Can we get 44 likes for the Biff and New York Racing in there? Well, it's not their first start, but their first start the next gen era, even though it's everybody's first start the next gen era. And it's also rumored that New York Racing team wants to try and go full time this year. And if they can't go full time, at least show up to a couple other races throughout the season. And that'll be really interesting. I don't think Greg would do a ton of races for him. Like, if they go full time, he's definitely not going to be the full time driver. But I think Greg would definitely stick around and do a couple different races. Do you know if the race is live? The race is not live yet. The green flag, the cars just they haven't even gotten the driver to start your engine yet. But it will probably go in green in, I'd say, under 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Appreciate it if you're one of the returning viewers to the channel. If you're back for another stream, I love to talk with you guys in the chat. It's cool to get to know you guys over the live streams, or not really get to know you, but just get to know your favorite drivers and things like that. But we're going to have, Larry Mack's in the booth tonight. How about that? So he may end up being the third commentator in the booth. A lot of people have wanted to see that happen since Jeff was going to leave. So it looks like Larry Mack may end up being the third man in the booth. Now, Tony's going to be doing it for the 500, but after that, it's maybe going to be a thing to assume that Larry Mack will be filling in for him. One duel is chaotic, and the other one is always boring. Which one do you think is going to be the crazy one? Okay, this is a good question. So, I mean, it's honestly a toss-up, but I guess if I had to really put my finger on it, I think the drivers that are really going to push it are Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. Because Brad just said in his pre-race interview that they got a backup car, so he's just going to drive like he can wreck it. So obviously he's not going to try to wreck it, but he's not afraid to lose it. And so then you have Logano in the second one. I'm going to say the first one's going to be more chaotic because actually a similar reason to what Brad just said. Because, well, actually, I mean, it's a toss-up. Whichever one, if the first one has wrecks in it, the second one is not going to be chaotic at all. If the first one doesn't have any wrecks, I think the second one will be very chaotic because the second one's like, okay, it's not like we're going to end up using any of these backup cars unless you guys wreck. So feel free to go at it. So I'm going to go with the second one after that tangent of me trying to reason out an answer. So I'm just going to go with the second one.
Yep.
Appreciate everybody watching right now. But I'll go through the starting lineup for duel number 1. You got the Hendrick teammates Kyle Larson and William Byron. And then starting 2, you got another Hendrick car, Chase Elliott. And then to his outside, you got Ross Chastain. And then right behind them, you got the other Trackhouse car, Diaz, starting in 5th. Then Hemrick to his outside, starting in 6th. And then making 4, you have Ryan Blaney and Tyler Reddick. And then making up row 5, you have Brad Keselowski and Chase Briscoe rounding out the top. And then you have the Penske rookie Cendric starting 11th, rolling off on the inside of row 6. Eric's his outside. Then you got Kurt Busch in his first points-paying race at a new team at the 23XI, to be specific. And to his outside, Justin Haley, another rookie in this duel. And then in the next row, you got Cole Custer and Todd following them up. You got Noah Gragson, who qualified his way in last night and Landon Castle is outside. And then you have BJ McLeod and JJ Yaley making up row number 10. And then the sole car in row number 11 will be Kaz Grala. And now, in terms of the open cars, they're going to be trying to race their way in tonight. The two open cars that'll be trying to race their way in will be JJ Yaley and Kaz Grala. It's going to be interesting to make their way in. A lot of people think Noah Gragson may try to spice it up in this duel. I really don't see that happening because they obviously don't have a backup car. I mean, he finally made the show. He doesn't want to crash out in the duel again and miss it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls off early. I think Kyle Larson may pull off early, but we'll still have to see. I mean, you really don't know. This race is going to be 60 laps as well as the second one. Extremely desirable. Let's go. Robert, he thinks the first one's going to be more chaotic. Appreciate it, guys. We're up to 9 likes. I think the goal tonight, similar to last night, can we get 44 for Greg Biffle in the New York Racing Machine? Now that obviously we've still got a little bit of a ways to go, but we've obviously got a long night ahead of us.
And right there.
Extremely. I know you obviously want Yaley to try to make the show, or not try, but actually make the show. And guys, did you know that if JJ Yaley finishes in the top 3 of the Daytona 500, he will make $1 million? It's like he's going to get a bonus check of basically $1 million. That is crazy. TB Gaming, what's up? TB Gaming, what's your predictions for cars make it in?
Make sure your white switch is on one. You're under.
So now I'm going to put up a poll, actually. What open car makes it in? Or no, first, we're going to do which duel is going to be more chaotic. Also, guys, we are going to be appearing in 100,000 cameras, which is basically a NASCAR. It's kind of like a NASCAR mini documentary where they take a bunch of different little videos and they put them together, quote unquote, 100,000 cameras, and they kind of are all themed about the Clash. And I know I got contacted by somebody saying that my live stream when I was commentating the Busch Clash, there'll be a clip of that in there, so I'm going to be watching that. So yeah, extremely. Yep, $1 million bonus. Tough odds though. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think that he's going to hit in that top 3. But I mean, if it happens, I think everybody would just be that'd be crazy. Hey, we've got 10 likes. I appreciate it, guys. Also, we hit 1,700 subscribers last night, and then one person unsubscribed, so we're at 1,699. So if we can get one more or 2 more subscribers, we'll go back over 1,700.
I don't know if you're hooked up to your antenna, but he's far away over there. Oh, and let's finish it tonight.
So just put up a poll, guys, saying which one is going to be more chaotic, Duel 1 or Duel 2. TB Gaming, congrats on Larson getting on the poll. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. He actually did well at Daytona, but or any plate track. Obviously, the qualifying is one thing, the actual race is another, so we'll have to see. Also, guys, do any of you guys, if there's still points given out to the top 10 duels? I know that was a thing, but I haven't heard anybody on the broadcast talk about it, so I don't know if it's something they stopped for whatever reason. So they're out running the opening pace laps right now, so we should get the green flag pretty soon.
Safety trucks up top here. Get a look at your gauges one time.
Oh boy, I'm so excited, guys. NASCAR is back at Daytona. Alex Bowman is fast, man. I mean, I think all the HMS cars have a shot. They got pace, but HMS it's like got a curse against them. Outside of Byron's win, none of the 4 guys have ever really even come close at any plate track. I mean, Bowman did win the iRacing at Talladega last year, so I'll give him credit to that. Okay.
Probably let William Spotter know. I'll take the top, right?
Right now, there's been 6 votes, and 3 of you guys say Duel 1 will be more chaotic, and 3 of you say Duel 2. It's HMS at Daytona. It was expected to happen eventually. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get the win this time or not, I mean, I wouldn't complain if they do. I just want it to be a good, entertaining race.
It'll be one to go when you get back
You
here.
think
This
Kurt
will
Busch
also
will be
be your
crashed?
pit
It
road
seems like he
run
does every
also.
year. I mean, I don't know.
Yep,
Maybe
pit
he'll
road
get that
run. So
second
once we get
Daytona
off pit
500
road,
win.
we'll switch with Liam. Pit road
I don't.
run
He
time
still
is
doesn't
set.
have. He doesn't have the same.
Lights
Wait, it
at
was
the
Tony
line.
Long, but I think it was Tony Gibson. That was the crew chief who he had when he won the 500. He was like going crazy. I mean, we'll still have to see if we get some emotion like that out of that. Well, not 41 team, 45 team. If they were to win the 500, I'd be totally down.
Okay.
As are Isaac, the points were awarded last year, even though they talk about it a lot. So I'm not sure about this year yet. I don't know if it's yeah, I don't know if they're doing points or not. So maybe mark towards it during the broadcast, and if they don't, I'm just going to assume they aren't. Let's add some sort of incentive to the guys who, now Larson did qualify on pole, and he doesn't want to wreck out, so that way he has to start at the back of the field. But the other thing is like, you don't necessarily want to miss out on 10 points now, do you? I mean, that's hardly anything, but in the grand, 1 point can make the difference, guys. I know there are a lot of controversial opinions on the Casgrala Pit Viper paint scheme, but I personally love it. I think it looks super cool. I think it really matches Pit Viper's branding. All right, 11 likes right now. Got 22 people watching. Can we get a couple more of you guys to drop a like? I appreciate it.
And right there.
Whew.
Go up.
Like I was saying earlier, is in terms of the duels, it's gonna work like this. The guys in the first duel are probably gonna race hard, but I think the second duel is going to be more. I think it's gonna be more chaotic because if they don't wreck in the first duel, the guys in the second duel are gonna be like, well, we have these backup cars. It's not like we're gonna wreck these cars in something else before the race. So might as well just go crazy right now. In worst case scenario, we have to go to a backup. But if they do crash in the first duel, then it's very, very unlikely that they're going to be going crazy in the second duel because they're definitely not going to be able to have enough backup cars for that. Jay Howe, Greg Biffle. I know that goal for the stream is 44. Can we get 44 likes for the Biff?
You got the one lined up behind you, 9-1 out back on the bottom, 24 to your inside. You start the race here. Going 60 laps. Nice space. Yep, sounds good.
Last year when we were streaming the SRX, we were doing 69 likes for the Biff. That was his number in the SRX.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, you'll get a good feel for it with what you see, and obviously we'll be keeping an eye on it, and we'll make decisions as we go.
So we're going to switch over to this camera view before we, this kind of screen setup before we go live. Or with the actual, not before we go live, but before the green flag drops, and the lights are out on the pace car. Okay, guys, before we hit the green flag, here is my pick to win the first duel. It may be controversial, but I'm going with Daniel Suarez. Not because that car does have pace, but also because I love that purple paint scheme. It's just, I love it. I loved it last year, and I love it again this year. One thing you guys are going to find out about me is I love these purple paint schemes. Are like kind of bright, cool paints, cool colored paint schemes. Like when they use colors that we don't see on cars. Best looking Gen 7 car, I vote the I could maybe say the Mustang. Honestly, the next gen, they all look way more similar than they did with the Gen Tel difference. But now I feel like there's not as many big differences between each car, so we'll still have to see. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm like getting all hyped up and getting nervous. Man, we're so close. They're coming off turn 4, man. I'm going to change the pole in a second to which Duel. And here they come. They're approaching the green flag for duel number 1. The pace car pulls off. Byron on the inside, Larson on the outside. Through the Geico restart zone for the first time in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing. And Larson immediately moves down in front of his team straight to that before they got the green flag. And down into turns 1 to go. They go blazing. Larson's already out front by a couple car lengths. He's got Byron on the inside behind him, and he's got Chastain on the outside, lead that outside line. Only 2 grooves working it right now. Oh, and it looks like somebody makes it 3 wide on the outside. I think that may be Daniel Hemrick, or not Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Reddick. Yes, it is, and he's dropping back to the rear of the field. It was Daniel Hemrick. Could not tell. Both those cars are like a majority white. As they come off turn 4, it looks like Larson's going to lead the first lap of the 2022 NASCAR season. And he will. Now, right behind him, Chastain and Byron are still side by side. And you already see almost like a top 12, top 15 breakaway from the rest of the field. And then the file line of about 7 or 8 cars behind that lead pack of 15 or so cars. Now, it looks like the top 2 have edged out file. It goes Larson and Byron are single. Elliott and Chastain are side by side for 3rd. And then in terms of the open car battle right now, Garala is in 14th and Yaley is in 17th. Now Chastain's edging it back closer to the front on the outside line. He's getting to the rear quarter panel of Byron, but Byron gets a good shove from Elliott, and now he's going to transfer that shove to Larson, and that inside line of Chevrolets is kind of pulling away from Chastain on the outside. That's 2 laps complete. Larson's gone 2 for 2 in terms of laps led so far. Well, you can already see which cars are already going conservative. Daniel Hemrick, who qualified like 10th or something, he restarted, or 11th, so he started race in 5th on the grid, but he just dropped out of the lead pack, and he's like 50, like he's already 10 seconds or so behind the lead pack. So is Noah Gragson. So those guys must know that they cannot even think of wrecking these cars. And Chastain's gotten a great run back on the outside. Now Chastain's going to be looking to lead the 3rd lap. But Larson's going to get a run back on the inside, and at the line, it's going to be Larson with the lead. Now, Chastain's still trying to work that outside line. He's got some big help from Tyler Reddick in that 8 car. Right now, it's pretty much a dead heat between both lanes. Looks like the inside line gets a bit of a better run through the corners, but down the back straightaway, that outside line really gets a good line, good shunt. But right now, it's basically a lead pack of 12 cars that are kind of separated from the rest of the field that have all just kind of gone single file and are just hanging around because they obviously don't want to wreck their vehicles. And now Larson's kind of edged back out ahead of that outside line, being led by Chastain. He's about a car length ahead. This is the first pack racing we're really seeing with the next-gen cars, or competitive pack racing, to say the least. So Larson so far has led all 4 laps that we've ran. And really neither line is really kind of edging ahead of the other. Larson is slightly ahead of the other line, but he's not really pulling away or anything. And the outside line's not really losing or gaining on him. But still, you just have those 300 cars all lined up together on the inside line. You know those guys are not going to break off each other's bumpers, so it's going to be pretty hard to work your way around that. Now at the line, Larson's going to lead it again. And now Larson and Byron have kind of cleared themselves of Chastain. So maybe we're starting to see that inside line really prevail after about 5 laps. So you've got your top 13 that are all within half a second of each other. And then it looks like you've got a group of 3 cars, Garala, Castle, and Gilliland, kind of just working together in a small little threesome that are just kind of hanging off that draft of the lead pack, but they'll probably fall off that pretty soon. And then behind them, we've got Haley and Hemrick just hanging around, the 2 colleague teammates. And then you got Yaley McLeod just also working together. And then you drop way back, and Gregson's just chilling like a half a lap down already. He's probably going to pull off as soon as he can. And now at the line, lap 6 is complete, and Larson's going to lead this one. Now that it's really worked out to be a 1-line pack at the front, that part. Chastain and Reddick are still working together, and they've got Briscoe and Jones out there as well, but now they're about 6 cars back at the lead. So it looks like every other single file on the inside line, and it looks like we may go freight training for a little bit. I'm looking at Suarez's in-car camera. Did he get a bit of a bobble? Oh, he gave quite a big push to that 9 car. You could really feel like we got the helmet cam, and when he hit the back of that 9 car, his head almost kind of like jolted forward a bit. So he really had a big run going there. Now that outside line kind of collapsed, and it actually kind of knocked some of those guys towards the tail end of that outside line, and they may lose the lead draft here. So appreciate everybody watching right now. Garal is still ahead of Yaley in terms of the open cars. The question is will we see any wrecks? Will anybody have to go to a backup car? Or are they just going to chain it single file for the next 52 laps? You got your 300 cars up front, Larson, Byron, Elliott, and then you got the Trackhouse car of Suarez. He was my pick to win the duel, but I honestly think it's going to be pretty hard to beat Larson, Byron, and Elliott unless we get a caution or some crazy restart just because they are going to work together straight to the finish. I'd be shocked if they like break up with each other. Yeah, it looks like Briscoe and Jones are kind of losing that lead draft. They may slightly just be hanging in there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they fall back. Now, they would be able to just fall back and kind of join a small line of 3 cars with Garala, Gilliland, and Castle. So there's no worry of them really going a lap down yet. And we go to our first commercial break of the 2022 NASCAR season. But now we're just going to kind of look at the lead board or the timing board and see if we can get any data on what's happening. Yeah, Gregson's already 20 seconds back off the leader, so I think he's going to pull in pretty much as soon as he can. And then you got BJ McLeod in 20th and Yaley in 19th. They're kind of working together as a little duo. And then you got Hemrick and Yaley and Todd Gilliland, Castle and Garala. That's kind of a small pack of 5 cars. And they're just trailing about a second or 2 seconds off the lead draft. And then you got Eric Jones and Chase Briscoe, who were on the tail end of that outside line when they were going side by side, and they kind of got the short end of the stick and are slowly losing that lead draft, so they may end up falling back into that 5-car line, or that second pack, we'll call it. And then you've got this lead pack of about 11, 12 cars or so. And you got the 300 cars, Larson, Byron, Elliott, and then Suarez, and then Blaney, Keselowski, Cindric, and then Kurt Busch, Cole Custer, Chastain, the top 10. With Larson's led all 10 laps so far, and he's just going to probably chill in front of his 2 Hendrick teammates as long as they're willing to go behind him. Okay, guys. So there are going to be points awarded in the duels. I did figure this out. This is something I was talking about with you guys in the chat earlier. There will be points awarded for the top 10 in the duels. So last or 10th in the duel will get 1 point, 9th will get 2, 8th will get 3. So basically, it's just like first gets 10, second gets 9, third gets 8. So it's pretty simple, and you can kind of see it towards the right side of your screen over here. Oh, I'm going to end this poll. We're going to change it to which open car makes it in. Is it Yaley or Garala? Honestly, I don't really care too much about who gets in, but appreciate all 17 of you guys who have dropped a like so far. Will Yaley get in or will Garala get in? Oops. This one, we'll fix that really quick. It'll be the 55 or 50. Okay, so we are back to the live broadcast after a commercial break that only lasted a couple laps, and they're still freight training it, kind of a lead pack, and it looks like that the lead pack's actually kind of broken up a bit. There's a gap between, it looks like Kurt Busch and Cole Custer, the 8th and 9th place cars, or more so Austin Cindric and Kurt Busch. So it's kind of like that top 6 or 7 have kind of broken away from the rest of the field. Oh, now Garala's actually lost some ground. I don't know if he like left his little choo-choo train he was a part of or what, but now he's dropped back to 17th. Now he still has a 6-second margin over JJ Yaley. So if things were to go green to the end, I really don't see any way Kaz Garala loses that spot to JJ Yaley. But if we get a caution, they're going to be right on top of each other at the restart. Brad Keselowski's chilling in 6th, and I think he's probably going to be one of the most aggressive drivers in this duel. And it'll be interesting. He's obviously a bit before he makes his move, but when he does, it'll be interesting to see if he can do anything with it or not. Two votes, 1 vote for Yaley, 1 vote for Garala. In terms of which open car gets in. Appreciate all 17 of you guys tuning in right now. I know there are a couple other big YouTubers doing live streams tonight, so probably won't be too big tonight. You got one for one of those is Michael McCruz. But right now, it's really just that they're just training on the inside. Choo, 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 choo. But it'll be interesting to see because right now it does look like that top 6 or so cars are kind of like pulling away from the rest of the field. So I don't know if it's just because those Hendrick cars are so fast or what, but if they can like actually like break off and maybe like a 3 or 4 car tandem like those Hendrick cars, now that'll be like a real statement in terms of just pace. But in terms of like actuality, there's like 13 cars that are all still within a 1.5 seconds of the leader. They're all single file, but then you drop back to about 3.5 seconds or 2 seconds off the lead pack. And you've got Haley, Hemrick, Castle, Garala, Gilliland, those 4 cars working together. And Kyle Larson's led all 15 laps so far. I really wonder if Larson's just going to keep chilling and riding out in the front. But like, I think if Larson loses the lead and falls back in the pack, I wouldn't be surprised if they just have him pull off. Because, you know, they don't want him to, like, you know, risk getting caught up in a crash. But, I mean, if he can just chill out in front the entire way, then kudos to that team for executing correctly and getting him 10 points to start off the season. Man, that secondary pack of about 5 or so cars, they keep like shuffling up positions, and it's just costing them time to this lead pack. Really don't know what they're trying to do with that, but whatever. They're going to be coming to lap Gregson here pretty soon. He's just cruising around with that. He's trying to cruise around as slow as he possibly can without crashing that thing somehow. And then you've got Yaley and McLeod who are just also like basically just checked out from the field in terms of checked out by falling behind, not checked out by driving ahead. But, you know, I'm not surprised those 2 guys are just going to play it safe until the end and maybe see if we get a caution, and then they'll try and make some moves. Yeah, this pack of like 5 cars with the 2 colored cars, the money team machine, and then Castle and Gilliland are just keep dicing it up together for whatever reason. I don't know if they're trying to practice running door to door or not, but I mean, whatever. They are losing a lot of time now. The last couple as much, but now that they're all running side by side, they just lost almost 2 seconds to the lead pack. And this is actually a big sign because a lot of people were talking about how running side by side is like a lot slower than running single file with the next gen. And they ran side by side for 2 laps and lost nearly 3 seconds of time to the lead pack going single file. Like, that is a lot of time. That's way more than in the past. Danny Boy still riding around in 4th. I mean, I'm not expecting any action in this thing till we get green flag pit stops. and it'll be interesting to see if anybody makes a mistake. I don't know if we have a competition caution or not. I don't think we do. It'll tell me right here if we are. No, we aren't going to have a competition caution. So unless we get a real caution, there are some penalties during green flag pit stops. I don't see too much craziness happening until the very end, the last couple laps, almost similar to last year's Daytona 500. Oh, wow. Garala lost that draft of 4 cars. How about that? There's that secondary pack that had 5 cars, and now they only have 4, and Kaz Garala is just free falling. He's driving by himself, so he will end up falling back into the clutches of BJ McLeod and JJ Haley eventually. That's probably going to take a bit of time to happen, but that he literally just had to do one job, just stay ahead of the Haley and just stay in that draft of 4 cars, and they could chill to the finish. But now that he's lost that pack, now he's just going to be free falling until he falls in the Haley and McLeod, who are just running in the 2-car tandem. Still, Larson's led all 20 laps so far. We're 1/3 of the way through the first duel and 1/6 of the way through all the action tonight. Appreciate everybody watching right now. And we're going to be cutting to our second commercial break of the 2022 season. Appreciate all 19 of you guys who have liked it so far. The goal is still 44 for the Biff. Also, we can get just a handful of subscribers tonight. That'd be amazing, because then we can hit 1,700. We hit 1,700 last night. We had 1 or 2 people unsubscribed. So now we're back at 1,698. Oh, good goodness. Whew. Guys, also, if you are tuning in and you're interested in tuning in again for the 500 on Sunday, I will not be live streaming on Sunday. I will be posting some sort of reaction video from the race, but I will not be doing a live stream with my commentary, sadly. But also, my voice would probably die from commentating by myself to that race for 4 hours with all the action that happens in a plate race. Hey, we hit 20 likes. I appreciate it. Every day brings new opportunities to do more than anyone thought possible. Now, after 23 complete, Larson's led all 23, and he's just been pushed by Byron and Elliott and Suarez the entire time. The Giants in the top 4 spots, and then you got Blaney 5th and 6th. Oh, Chastain must have made a move on somebody, because he got by Austin Cindric. He's up to 7th, and then you got Cindric and Reddick in 9th. And Kurt Busch also had somebody make a move on him, because he's back to 10th, or maybe tried to make a move and it didn't work out. So Kurt Busch has dropped back to 10th. And then you got Eric Jones, who's at the tail end of that pack of 11 cars. And also Chase Briscoe is kind of fallen off that lead pack that was actually somebody else has too. Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe, the 2 Stewart-Haas cars. That may actually be on purpose, that both Stewart-Haas cars have fallen off that lead pack. Because they were both up there in the top. I think they're both on 7th and 9th. And they both lost that lead draft and have fallen back kind of to that secondary pack. And actually, it looks like Cole Custer has fallen back past that secondary pack and is just chilling by himself at the moment. So I think they're just going to tell those guys to save their cars for Sunday. Also, Kaz Grala did lose that pack that I mentioned a couple minutes ago. So now Kaz Grala, the next car behind him is JJ Haley, and he's in a 2-car tandem with BJ McLeod. Those are the 2 open cars battling to get into the 500. Which one will it be? Right now, there have been 8 people who have voted in the chat. You guys have said Haley. 4 of you guys have said Grala. And now we're back from that break. And yeah, that lead pack's down to 11 cars. And Kurt Busch, Chastain, Reddick trying to make move to the outside. They get around Cindric. They get around Keselowski. These guys are making it too wide towards the back of this lead draft. They're up to the side-by-side with Blaney. What in the world, NASCAR? They just cut away from that. Somebody finally makes a move, and they cut away to Garala, who's just driving by himself. What? Oh, my gosh, NASCAR. I can't even see what's going on right now. I can't tell you what's going on. Somebody finally made a move. I'm going to try and tell by the ticker, but Kurt Busch, who's leading that drive on the outside, he's up to be at the 4th place position side by side with Suarez for 4th, basically. And those guys are side by side, and it's actually kind of allowing the Hendrick cars to drive away a bit because being side by side slows you down so much. Now, Eric Jones has shifted back to the inside line, and so I think this charge by the rear of the field to try and work their way up in this lead pack isn't going to end up making them up any ground. So at least they're trying. At least they're trying, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe they can make a move again, and maybe it'll work out better next time. But Briscoe and Custer did kind of leave this lead pack. And now that these guys are side by side, it's allowing that secondary pack I've been talking about of about 5 cars or so to actually gain back in on them. They were about 6 seconds back off of them, and now they're back to they're under 3 seconds off the leader. So we may get some more action in this lead pack before, I mean, more than I thought we would. We're approaching the halfway point in this first duel. 26 laps complete. Larson's led every single one so far. Yeah, that pack of 5 cars is definitely going to catch the rear of this group, and it'll be interesting to see if they try to make a move or if they just kind of tuck in line at the rear of this pack. Oh, they're almost 3 wide for a moment there. Now, that's really going to cost those guys towards the back of this lead draft some time. They are falling off that kind of lead pack. It'll be interesting to see if this group of 5 cars is able to maybe take it to the outside of these guys going side by side and just drive right by them with the momentum they've got. Oh, but now those guys in that secondary pack are all trying to make a move on each other. Oh, boy. Appreciate everybody watching right now. Briscoe makes a move by those guys in that secondary pack, and so he's going to pick up all this. He goes right to the lead of that secondary pack. But Garala, who was in that second pack, one of the open cars, he fell out of that lead or that second pack, and now he has no drafting. He's driving by himself. And the car behind him is J.J. Yaley, the other open car he has to battle. And they just showed it right now in terms of raw pace. J.J. Yaley is the help of B.J. McLeod. They're tandeming together. And they're going 180. And Corrala's going like 170. So they're going to catch him pretty soon. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when they do meet each other. So it's like the two... I'm trying to see. It looks like Briscoe and Gilliland tried to drive away from that second pack to try to catch up to this first pack. And they were doing all right, but now they're losing more time because it's just the 2 of them compared to this lead draft of 12 cars. And Chastain and Reddick have kind of fallen off the back of this lead draft because they tried to go side by side and make up some ground, and it really didn't work out for them. So now they're going to have to try and slowly work their way back in towards the rear of this lead draft. Appreciate everybody watching. Can we get 44 likes for Greg Biffle and the New York Racing Team? That's the goal for tonight. Also, it's going to be interesting because when Yaley and Garala up, once the Yaley and McLeod pair meet the Garala, it'll probably be pretty close to when this lead pack is trying to put them a lap down and maybe in the middle of green flag pit stop. So it's going to get pretty chaotic here soon. Right now, the poll in the chat, 14 of you guys have voted. 64% of you guys say Garala, 36% say Yaley. Right now, Garala holds the position on track, but Yaley may be able to make a move on him. See. Okay, I'm so confused. They were talking about the radio between Garala and his crew chief, and they just said that they radioed to Garala and said, just wait until we pit and we'll get you some help then. How is that going to work? You're nowhere near anybody on track. What are you going to do? Go a lap down and just stay with that lead pack? I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, the Yaley pair are only about 5 seconds away from going a lap down. And we are at the halfway point, and Larson's led every lap so far. 29 laps to go in the first duel at Daytona. Oh, there's making some moves once again. Blaney and Keselowski go to the outside. The Fords trying to work together. Elliott tries to slide up to block their run. This is the first time we've really seen any of the Hendrick cars have to make a move to block a run. They've been somebody's made on them. Oh, and they shuffle out Byron. Elliott tucks back in line, but Byron gets shuffled out. But so will Kozlowski. So Kozlowski and Byron are going to get shuffled out from this kind of the lead of this first pack, and he's able to move up to third ahead of Suarez and Byron. So he picks up from that move. And these guys are about to lap the pair of Yaley and McLeod, and they're going to be side by side. How are these guys going to do it 3 wide for the first time in the next gen era? So here, and they're coming close to green flag pit stops here. Some of the guys are getting ready on pit road because we're just past the halfway point in this duel, so I wouldn't be surprised. They can come at any time now. So Byron falls to the back of that lead pack, and these guys, Yaley and McLeod, now that they've gone a lap down, they can maybe try and get into the draft of this lead pack and let them catch Casgarala even faster. Let's see, are they going to try and catch this draft? They're going to try, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. Either way, Casgarala is like losing time to them because he's just one car in their pair. Right now, Yaley's best friend is McLeod. Right now, they're going to be coming to green flag pit stops like really, really soon. I mean, I don't know when, but with the open car battle and green flag pit stops and penalties always kind of sometimes being an underlying plot in the duels, we'll just have to see what happens now. Is there going to be a caution when they try to, come down onto pit road? Are people going to mess up? We'll have to see. Also, it looks like that second pack of 5 cars is caught up to this lead pack of about 12 cars or so. Never mind. There was kind of like that second pack split into 2 packs, and now they're putting Casgarala a lap down. Now, will he be able to latch onto this lead pack or not? We'll have to see here soon. Wow, on average, Casgarala running by himself versus the lead pack is 12 miles per hour slower. Now, as he goes by the group, Cendric's making a move. So is Kozlowski. They're going to try to work together to get around Eric Jones and Kurt Busch. Will they be able to pull it off? It doesn't look like they're going to be able to unless they get some more help. Chase Briscoe slingshots from the back of the pack. He's got a big run. Oh, and guys are pitting. So all the Chevys are pulling off, and it looks like somebody's trying to join him. Yeah, Reddick is as well. He came in there pretty high. I wouldn't be surprised if Reddick may have sped there. I'm not certain. Oh, Casgarala pitted with them, so he may be trying to join into this Chevrolet draft. That may be the help they were talking about, but he came on to pit road last of these guys, so I don't know if he's going to be able to it's going to work out. He may come off pit road and be too far behind him. Now, it's going to be interesting. Some of those guys look pretty hot coming onto pit road. How many of them sped, or did any of them sped? The only cars on track right now are the Fords and Toyotas. Oh, Kyle Larson loses the race off pit road. He loses 2 spots. It's Elliott, then Jones, who get pretty good runs off pit road. And here come the Fords, and it looks like basically just everybody else is going to come in here with 25 laps to go. And a couple guys did only go with 2 tires, and some went with 4. So they're going to be really spread out here after this green flag pit stops. It'll be interesting to see who comes out where, and if anybody else is able to make up ground or not, or beginning another caution that bunches up the field. If one of the open cars gets the free pass and the other one's still trapped a lap down, that pretty much solidify their spot in the 500. That Sammer guy, things are happening. Yes, they finally are. Casgarala was caught speeding. Casgarala caught speeding. That may end his chances at the 500, guys. How about that? We're going to see, is anybody else going to get caught speeding? Man, we're going to have to see what happens. We've got 21 likes, 28 people watching. Can we get a couple more likes? I'd appreciate it. Is anybody else going to get a speeding penalty? The only one that has been announced so far is Casgarala, and that's really going to hurt his chances of qualifying his way in. right now, Blaney, Kozlowski, Briscoe, Cendric, and Reddick lead over Kurt Busch, Elliott, Jones, Larson, and Byron. And there's just kind of a bunch of cars spread out in a couple of kind of 2-car tandems over about a 5-second time range. So how about that? The Chevys came in leading before pit stops, and now the Fords are leading after pit stops. So strategy played well for the Ford. Custer's still on pit road, so I wonder if he's got an issue or something, or if he had to come down a second time. Or no, he's off pit road now. Man, oh man, my throat is dying right now. So you've kind of got this lead draft of about 4 Fords and a couple Chevys, and then you got behind them by a couple seconds, you got Elliott, Jones, and Larson working together to try to catch up to him. We got 24 likes. That means we're only 20 away from the like goal. I appreciate it, guys. All of you are watching. And if you subscribed for the first time tonight, I appreciate you too. So far, nobody else has been busted for speeding. So I thought we were going to see some more penalties, but really only one happened to one of the teams that couldn't afford it the most, and that was Casgarala. So now Yaley is the open car that would make his way in if the race ended right now, but the race is not going to end right now. We've got 21 laps to go with Blaney out front being pushed by his old teammate Kozlowski. Will Kozlowski be willing just to sit around and push his old teammate after getting kicked out of the Penske shop, or is he going to try and make a move? Oh, he's looking. He's kind of popping out there. He's popping back in. If I'm Blaney, I'm not feeling too safe right now. We're going to go NASCAR side by side, so I'll be able to continue commentating on all the action. Kozlowski, he keeps like kind of running about maybe a couple feet higher up the track than Blaney. Like he's trying to get some fresh air on that grill. He's thinking about going. He's got Briscoe behind him, who I think would probably go with him if he does. Briscoe's been making a couple moves so far tonight. That Sammer guy, you like that one leg pit stop? No, I know it's one, but so far I'm not liking it. I mean, I would prefer 5 lugs, but I feel like I don't care too much about it. I think the biggest thing that like hurts is just there's no longer that sound of do 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 do. That's a pretty terrible free impersonation, but you know what I'm trying to say. Also, this lead pack is about to put Cal 2 laps down, and he's got somebody else with him. I'm not sure who it may be. Gregson. I can't tell quite yet. They haven't shown a clear shot. But Garala's going to go 2 laps down, and he's got to try and latch onto this lead draft and then wait till they catch Yaley and put him a lap down. That's really his only strategy unless we get another caution. And even if we get another caution, he probably doesn't want another caution because then he's strapped 2 laps down, not 1 lap down. Unless the caution is involving JJ Yaley, he does not want a caution. And are we going to get a caution in this duel? I don't think so. I don't think so. But right now, you've got a lead draft of 5 cars. You got 4 Fords and 1 Chevy. You got Blaney, Kozlowski, Briscoe, Cendric, and then Reddick at the tail end of this pack. And then you got Kurt Busch, who's fallen off this lead group a bit, but he's going to be getting caught soon by a threesome of Elliott, Jones, and Larson. They're going to be trying to catch this lead pack. Larson led almost every lap early on, but then under green flag pit stops, the Chevrolets kind of got shuffled out of that leading spots. Now the Fords are out front. And Kurt Busch is getting passed by that threesome of Chevrolets, and he's going to try and tuck into that group as he can be able to join that 3-car pack and make it a 4-car pack. That'll help that pack catch the leaders faster. Yeah, just weird. Like, I wouldn't say it's bad. It could be better. It could be worse. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted there for a second. So with 17 to go, Blaney leads. Will we see any more action? Garala and Gregson are now 2 laps down, and Yaley leads the open car battle. Now, Yaley and McLeod, that duo, I think will go a lap down here soon. I'm not quite sure how close they are to going 2 laps down. But if Gurala and Gregson can kind of stay in this lead draft, then I think they may be able to get lucky towards the end, or at least Gurala is going to get lucky. And as they're lapping Yaley towards the finish, he may be able to be in that lead draft and just kind of cruise on past him. Wow, Keselowski was riding all over the bumper of Blaney. He got him pretty loose there. I do think Keselowski's not going to make a move on Blaney yet. He's kind of sizing him up, but I think at the end, he'll definitely try and make a move. There's still 16 cars on the lead lap. The last of those is Daniel Hemrick. Whew. And in terms of that group of 3 Chevrolets, Elliott, Jones, and Larson, in terms of them trying to get into that, catch up that lead draft of 5 cars, they really haven't made up. They made up maybe a half a second so far over the last 4 laps. So they're going to have to improve a bit more than that in order to catch up to them. But now it looks like they may be getting help from Gregson and Gurala and Kurt Busch. So that may give them more cars in terms of numbers than that lead draft. But still, I wouldn't be too certain about catching them. I don't know. Yaley, he may be safe. He may be safe unless we get another caution. He may be able to just hold on ever so slightly. Marcos DeMonte, you want Eric Jones? I mean, right now he's running 7th. That's pretty solid. You could definitely make up a couple more spots before this thing's over if we get a caution. Now, I don't think we're going to get a caution, but I hope we do, so that way we get a bit more action. Right now, if I had to say the biggest losers in this duel, I'd say Gurala because he sped on pit road and basically kind of screwed himself out of a good spot. And then the 2 cars, they were up. I think they started 4th and 5th, and now they're back in 11th and 12th after not having the best strategy under green flag pit stops. And it looks like Yaley and McLeod will be going a lap down somewhat soon. I'd say in the next 5 to 10 laps. So we'll have to see. And Gurala and Gregson and Kurt Busch have joined into that group that was just 3 Chevrolets. And those guys are not really making up ground on the lead pack, but I think they may be able to now that they've got more cars and numbers. But also, Gurala is now in a draft. So, also, that group of Haley and McLeod, now they've got Daniel Hemrick also in that group. So that's going to allow them to have even more pace. So, that's going to help Yaley out, especially in terms of, more pace. And right now, 13 to go, unless, like, they've got almost the entire back straightaway on that lead pack of 5 cars. And they've got almost like half a lap on Gurala. So unless they're able to lose a half a lap's time in the next 13 or so laps, I think Yaley may just be about locked in. Elliott is gaining a bit of time now on the lead pack, but it's just intense. And with 13 to go, they're going to need a lot more than that to catch up to him. With 12 to go, Blaney still leads. Everybody's just pretty much staying single file. I think with 5 to go, we may see some action and definitely some action on the last lap, but everybody's going to keep it calm. Nobody wants to wreck them out right now, especially since there's not any big packs. We're not going to probably see any like big runs developed, unless we get a caution. So right now, over the last lap, Elliott in that second pack gained about a half a second on that lead pack. With 11 to go, they would catch, if they keep that pace up, they would catch up to that lead pack right about at the finish. Now, if they can keep up that pack, if they can keep up that pace, they may catch up to that pack. And Keselowski is all over the bumper of Blaney. Like, he is all over him. Right now, my bet is Keselowski is going to win this duel. Like, he's going to make a move at some time, and I think Briscoe is going to go with him, and they'll just go right around Blaney. Just been sizing him up like every lap, it looks like. Now, this time at the stripe with 10 to go. Last time the gap at the line from the first pack to the second pack was 4.6 seconds. Now it is... Wow, they lost a ton. They lost a half a second that lap. So, yeah, they're not gaining time. They're not gaining time. I thought they were, but not enough. So right now, unless something big happens, unless we get a caution, doesn't look like that second pack is going to be able to catch up to that lead pack. And it also looks like Yaley and Yaley and McLeod and Hemrick, since they're working together, they're probably going to be safe and be able to hold it out, the three of them ahead of Garala and that pack. Ugh. Also, it does look like there is a possibility that some guys may run out of gas. It looks like Chase Briscoe's worried they didn't put enough gas in that car, so we're gonna have to see. That could add some craziness before the finish. KB fan, I want Greg Biffle to win. I mean, I don't know if Greg Biffle will win, but I want him to put on some. I want him to be part of the show on Sunday. So yeah, that second pack is not going to catch that lead pack before this thing's over. Now that lead pack has lost one car, Tyler Reddick. He's falling off that lead draft. He's probably going to get caught by that second pack, and they'll probably fly right by him. But that's just something of note. 8 to go. So in terms of J.J. Haley's lap time last time by, he ran a 0.1. And Garala ran a 47. So he was a second and a half faster when he was in that draft of cars. But with 8 to go, I think Yaley may be safe. If they could show a track map and show the gap between Garala and Yaley, I don't know. If Yaley goes a lap down in the next 3 or 4 laps, then I think Garala will probably catch him. But if not, then I don't see it happening. Yeah, so far in this race, there's only been 2 leaders. Larson has led once, and he pretty much led from the green flag till green flag pit stops, and he led all 35 laps there. And then ever since green flag pit stops, Blaney's taken over, and he's led the last 19 laps. Now, the laps are just ticking down, And Reddick has joined that group, that second group. Now, that second group has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars compared to the lead gap's 4. And even then, they are really not catching them. Like maybe a 10th a lap. They'll be coming to 6 to go this time by. I think the second duel is going to be the crazy one. It's definitely going to be the crazy one. Guys, after the first duel ends, I'm probably going to take a slight break. Like, I'm going to keep the stream going, but I'm probably just going to be gone for a handful of minutes. With 6 to go, I think Yaley is going to be safe unless we get a caution. Garala still in that second pack. And it looks like I'm looking out. So right now, or no, we're on board with somebody else, not with Hemrick and those guys. Okay, it actually does look like Blaney and them are going to catch. They're going to catch that group with Yaley in the next lap or two. Like, they're catching them soon. So it may get really close between the 2 open cars before this thing's over. We're at 5 to go right now. This is, I don't know, I have to see. Are you saying you can't see the live leaderboard? I mean, it's still on there, isn't it? I mean, let me know. I'll change it up really quick or something. go like this off. It should be there now. I don't know why it wouldn't be. And now Keselowski's looking to make a move on Blaney, and he does with 4 to go. He goes to the outside of Blaney. Briscoe's with him. He's going to clear Blaney. Oh, but Cendric's going to go with his teammate of Blaney, but it's not going to be enough. And Keselowski and Briscoe move up to 1-2. Blaney's trying to make a move to the inside of Briscoe. It's not going to be enough. And now Keselowski's leading over Briscoe, Blaney, and Cendric, your top 4. And they are about to put the 3-car group of Yaley, McLeod, and Hemrick a lap down. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. I don't think Gralla has enough time. If there was like 10 to go right now, I think he would be able to get by Yaley, but right now I don't think it's gonna be enough. Oh man, Keselowski and them are gonna put Yaley and those guys a second lap down this lap. So it's gonna be really close. And meanwhile, because those guys made that move, it allowed that second to pick up about 1 second on this lead pack. So if they dice it up again here on this third lap with 3 to go, they may be able to catch up to him. Oh, Blaney goes to the inside of Briscoe. Now Briscoe's going to get shuffled out, and Blaney's going to be trying to catch up to his old teammate Keselowski here down the back straightaway. Now Briscoe's going to tuck back in line in this top group of 4 cars as they're putting McLeod and Yaley down. Now Blaney's going to be sizing up Keselowski. Did Keselowski make his move too soon? Did he give his teammate Cendric time to make a move on him with 3 to go? Two to go. Keselowski, Blaney, Cendric, Briscoe, your top 4 in a breakaway. Also, Yaley is dropping back quickly. Is he going to get passed by Gralla? It's going to be really close with 2 to go. Right now, Cendric's not really on the bumper of Blaney, so not give him an opportunity to get for Blaney to get a big enough run on Keselowski. Whoa, but they're lining up big right now down the back straightaway. Blaney pokes outside. Now he pokes inside. Keselowski's blocking. Oh, boy, are we going to see a wreck? Oh, Keselowski has a bobble, but he's still holding on to it. Oh, my goodness. 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen. Keselowski leads over Blaney, Cendric, and Briscoe. Can Keselowski hold on to it? Can Yaley hold on to his open spot? Oh, no, Yaley's about to get caught up by that other pack. He may lose it just barely on the last lap. Oh, my goodness. Blaney's all over the bumper of Keselowski. I'm going to turn off the leaderboard now as we come to the last lap. I'll put it back up when it ends. But Blaney's got a draft down the back straightaway. He's going to try and stack up to his teammate. Oh, Cendric tries to make a move on Blaney. What about that? Cendric lets his teammate go, and he goes by Blaney. Now Blaney's back to 4th. Now Briscoe's giving Cendric a push. Is Cendric going to get by the guy who he replaced? Now Briscoe goes to the outside of the 2, and it looks like at the stripe, Keselowski's going to cruise to the first duel win. They're going to be 3 wide at the line to be Cendric, Blaney, Briscoe. And then who won the open car battle? Gralla, Yaley. Oh, by 1 spot. That's so tough for Yaley. Oh, that's tough. And how Gralla gets in by 1 spot over JJ Yaley. So it goes Keselowski, Cendric, Blaney, Briscoe, Elliott, the top 5, and then Jones, Larson, Reddick. Man, how about that? Yaley's pass just at the end. That breaking for that 55 team. But your top Keselowski, Cendric, Blaney, Briscoe, Elliott, Jones, Larson, Reddick, Busch, Chastain. And the first points of the 2022 season are awarded. Chastain gets 1 point, Busch gets 2, Reddick gets 3, Larson 4, Jones 5, Elliott 6, Briscoe 7, Blaney 8, Cendric 9, and Brad Keselowski is currently your points leader, ladies and gentlemen. Man, how about that? Keselowski gets the win in duel number 1. Oh, he did like kind of a small burnout there. Even with 4 cars the last 10 laps, yeah. The last 10 laps actually weren't that bad. Oh boy, guys. So the first duel was pretty solid, pretty solid. I'm trying to think what would I give it down to 10? What would I give it down to 10? We'll go with, in terms of entertainment value, we'll give it a 6 for Brad Keselowski, or 6.6 for Brad Keselowski. How about that? Brad gets his first career win, his first win in 2022. I may actually buy this Clash Win car because he's like, it's like he wants to burn it out so bad, you can tell. But so what he's just doing is basically just kind of like driving back and forth and kind of doing a little drift spin. But no real burnout. But I mean, I'm surprised he's even doing what he's doing because you don't want to tear up that car in any way. You still can't believe it's Chevy's. I know, me too. I really thought since they had more numbers and everything, they'd catch up to the lead pack. But like, I don't know if it's because the Fords are that fast, or just if you have a couple cars, the difference really doesn't matter enough. And I'll be interesting to see if we'll see that in the second duel, because that'll answer questions kind of based on if I had like my questions of, will it have to do with like as long as you have like 3 or 4 cars, you can keep about the same pace as if another group has like 10, or is it just the Fords were that fast? So we'll be going live, or well, we're still going to be live, but we're going to be continuing with the second duel, which is going to be coming on here. We're going to look at the weekend schedule here really quick. I think it was 8:30 or 8:45. So approximately 8:45. And I assume it'll start maybe a bit earlier than that, maybe in about 20 minutes, but I'll be back. And I'm just going to take already about 1,000 viewers on the night. How about that, guys? I appreciate everybody who's tuned in. All 20 volts, still 44 for New York Racing. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. And the 48% of you who voted for Harala were correct, and the 52% that voted for Yaley were wrong. I'm very sad for the one guy who was like a Hex person who was a sponsor in the chat. They're missing the 500. Maybe they'll be back for another race. Now the MBM has 2 cars now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they would show up with 2 cars somewhere else. Now I'm going to put up a poll for the second duel in terms of which open car gets in. Will it be Biffle or Hill? Will NBM Motorsports go 0 for 2, and will the brand new teams go 2-0? Now, I'm going to leave it here, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in so far. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for duel number 2. Don't know how long till we get the green flag, but it shouldn't be too long. It was approximated that it would start around 8:45, so that's about 10 minutes away. I'm going to check on the chat really quick since I've been gone. Also, I'm just going to exit out of this here, and what we see. So yeah, this is the lineup right now for the second duel. It's got that up on the board. Nobody is going to the rear, I believe. Nobody's making any little adjustments yet. Maybe we'll see some of that in the 500 actually, but I'm going to catch up on the chat really quick. Anyone else getting freezing rain? I already responded to that. It is cold where I am, like very cold. I saw Tom Terrific. It was really exciting, and looking at the test from earlier, I am excited. I'm excited for the second duel. There weren't any wrecks in the first duel, so that means nobody's had to waste any backup cars yet. So that means anybody who has backup cars, like, well, you know what? I'm not that worried about crashing now because I have a backup plan in terms of the worst case scenario. Justin White, cool to see you back in the chat. Was an okay duel for us. Had a strong number 1 car. We should good in the 500. Oh, I didn't realize you're working for Chastain. I knew you said you had worked for Rick Ware, but good luck to you guys. I'm for both of those Trackhouse cars. I love both those schemes. I think in terms of one team, I think you guys have like the best all-around schemes. You or RFK also has some really solid ones so far. Hopefully your favorite driver wins, Kevin Harvick. I mean, I don't know a lot to see if you can get it done. Briscoe was up there towards the front of the last one. He got 4th. Got passed by Cendric and Blaney at the line. We're at 27 likes, guys. Only need, how many more do we need for 44? We need 17 more to get to 44 likes, guys. So can we get 44 likes for the Biff? Oh, so, and they are under the opening pace lap, so we'll be going green here soon, just in a second. Also, we're back to 1,700 subscribers, guys. So thanks for helping me get back to there. We got there last night, then we fell off. Also, anybody who's watching right now, after the second duel ends, don't turn off your TV just yet because there will be an airing of 100,000 cameras, which is basically like a short mini thing that NASCAR does. Where they put together like a video compilation of a bunch of different people's reactions and whatnot to the Busch Clash. That's what this one's themed off of. And I was contacted, and part of my live stream from the Busch Clash will be in there. Hopefully Biffle has a good car. I know I want Biffle to get in so bad. I want the Biff. Give me the Biff. He was the open car that I probably wanted to make it the most. Give me the Biff. Also, it's interesting that team is thinking about going full time this year if they're able to. I highly doubt they'll be full time. I honestly doubt they'll probably show up to more than half the races. But if they're able to show up to like 5 to 10 more throughout the season, I mean that's at least a good sign that they're building. So. I mean, that's way more than I think anybody anticipated from New York racing this year. I think nobody even thought they were real until about Monday. But yeah, I'll go through the starting lineup here really quick. Alex Bowman on pole. He's the only Hendrick car in this race, and he's the only Chevrolet starting in the top 9. And then to his outside, he'll have Eric Almirola, and then making up row 2, you have the Joe Gibbs teammates of Truex and Hamlin. Then behind that, you have the rookie Harrison Burton, and his outside, Joey Logano. Right now. Oh, no. The 27 car's on pit road with the hood up. That's not a good sign. I can't remember how it works for the open cars, but I think he's okay, even if he DNFs or whatever. But I'm not certain. So I'm trying to figure out if he's guaranteed in or not. I'm listening to the commentary really quick. Okay, so he's in regardless, even if he can't make the duel. So it could be worse for that team. So that does mean at the green flag we'll only have 20 cars, not 21. But I was interested to see how he'd race around. But at the same time, even if they don't start the race, I don't think he would try and be very competitive, because they just have to save that car for the big show. Anyways, I'll go back through me going through the field. So, and then in row 4, you'll have Bell and Wallace, and then Kyle Busch and the inside of row 5, and Austin Dillon to his outside, and that rounds out the top 10. Then you have the reigning Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell starting in 11th, and Ty Dillon, the bulldozer, to his outside. Well, we got to think of a name for like the Dillinator, the bulldozer, the bulldilzer. No, that doesn't work. Got to think of some sort of like meme name for Ty Dillon if he keeps up his wrecking ways. Then Kevin Harvick in 13th, Chris Buescher to his outside. Can the RFK cars sweep? How about that? And then Corey LaJoie, Ricky Stenhouse. I expect Ricky Stenhouse to move up in this duel. Then Cody Ware, Jacques Villeneuve, Jacques Villeneuve, even though he's going to be starts one from pit road, he may not even make it on track at any point. But then you have David Ray and Timmy Hill. Now they're coming down pit road. Just check all their pit road speed and all that. Is 27 still on pit road? I'm just looking. I'm looking. Maybe they already put it behind the wall. I'm not sure. Or no, he's still on pit road. Okay, so it does look like Jacques Villeneuve is going to be starting this one from, or will not even start this one. It looks like they put that car back to the garage. So Gumoda, the 55, is out. J.J. Haley on the last lap got passed by Casgarala. And Casgarala almost did not make it because he shot himself in the foot with the speeding penalty and green flag pit stops. But yeah, Timmy Hill will be driving the 66, so he's the other open car battling Biffle. So yeah, you guys in the vote and in the chat and the little voting thing, 22 votes, 82% say Biffle, 18% say Hill. I wish there was a way for both of them to make it in, but I really want Biffle to make this show. It's going to be interesting. Is Stenhouse going to try and shake things up? Also, this restart will get pretty exciting because on the restart for the first duel, you had all those Hendrick teammates on the inside line, and Larson started on the outside. He just basically, they worked it down ahead of time that he'd just slide down ahead of Byron. But this time, you don't have any teammates near the front. So things are going to get spicy early on. Do you guys think we'll get our first caution of speed weeks for the Cup Series in this one or no? I don't know. I hope we do, just because I want to see how this next-gen car wrecks before the 500. Now, who's going to wreck? I don't know. Joey Logano's been looking pretty aggressive, so my odds, I would be betting on him. Or maybe he wouldn't crash, but he may get somebody else crashed. The lights are out on the pace car. They come off turn 4. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle into your seats. We've hopefully got an exciting one coming up here now. And the 27 is back out there, and the pace car pulls off. It's Bowman on the inside, Almirola on the outside. The green flag is out. Let's go racing for the second time tonight. And Bowman gets a great start. He's clear by 2 car lengths of Almirola and Truex. And is Truex going to try and tuck in line? No, but Hamlin's going to tuck in line behind him, leaving out Almirola out to dry. Almirola's dropping back. He's going to fall back to a Ford teammate, or not teammate, but Ford Alliance member of Joey Logano. But also, Bubba Wallace moves to the inside line. All the Toyotas have moved from the outside to the inside. So that's really stacked up that inside line. But Logano's given a huge push to Almirola down the back straightaway. And he's side by side with Bowman going into turns 3 and 4. Harrison Burton's moved from the inside line to the outside line. So you got a Chevy and Toyotas on the inside and Fords on the outside battling back. And who's going to lead the first lap of duel number 1? It's going to be Almirola versus Bowman. Right? Who's going to get it? And it looks like Almirola gets shuffled out by Logano with 3 wide at the stripe. Bowman leads. Almirola must have got bumped out by Logano, or maybe he thought it was getting too racy for him, and so he just decided to bail out. But either way, Almirola is dropping back to the rear really fast. And right now at the rear end of this lead pack, you got Biffle and Hill just hanging out there, and Villeneuve is the only car that's really dropped off this entire big front pack here early. Which I don't blame him because they don't got a backup. He's already qualified in. So you got Bowman on the inside, Logano on the outside. Logano's got help from his teammate Harrison Burton in the 21 car at the line, and Logano's going to lead the second lap. How about that? This is the first real good side-by-side battling we've seen at the front of a pack tonight. And then Logano, Bowman, Burton, Truex, Dillon, your top 5. Then Hamlin, Ty Dillon, Wallace, Busher, Bell, the top 10. Truex is giving a big shove to Bowman back on the inside down the back straightaway. Logano's leading that outside line still. Now Bowman's going to be out front of both lines. Is he going to try and move up to block that outside line, or is he going to stay with the inside line down the front to the tri-oval? And, dude, they keep giving us this bumper cam, but you can't see anything that's really going on. So Bowman stays with the inside line. And it looks like Hill's falling off that lead pack, and Biffle's still just hanging around the back end of this lead pack. And Bowman's really out there by 2 or 3 car lengths. May come back to bite him if Truex looks to maybe make a move on him. Is he going to do it? No, not yet. Maybe if this was the 500, he would have thought about it. But now your top 2, Bowman and Truex, have kind of got themselves clear of the rest of the field. Will Logano be able to get a big enough run back to kind of get back side by side with Truex? Also, Harvick, I think he thinks it's getting a little bit too crazy for him right now. So he drops out of that lead pack. He's dropped back to 16th place now. He's side by side with the one and only Greg Biffle. And 4 laps complete. Bowman out front, and Truex in second, and then following in third is Hamlin, then Logano, and Harrison Burton, your top 5. Still about 18 cars in this main draft. The only cars that have lost the draft so far are Villeneuve, Timothy Hill, and Eric Almirola. I'm surprised Almirola lost the draft. Like, he did leave that front pack, but I thought he was just going to hang around towards the end, but I guess not. Anyways, it's Bowman still out front. He's getting pushed by Truex, who's still side by side with Logano. So this inside line really can't prevail yet, but this is pretty similar to how the first duel was going. They're kind of just going side by side for the first 10, 15 laps or so, and then finally the inside line prevailed, and they basically went single file for the rest of the race. Appreciate everybody watching right now. I thought I was still muted for a second. I thought I'd been muted this whole time, but I'm not. Anyways, Logano's gotten a great run on the outside with help from Burton, and he's actually edged out in front of Bowman heading into turns 3 and 4, but Truex gives a push to edges him back out in front, and these guys just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And at the line, Bowman's going to lead lap number 6 by a hair. And they were side by side for about 6 or so rows, maybe 8 rows deep. There's still 18 cars in this lead draft. The top 18 cars separated by less than a second. Now that is Daytona numbers there for you. That now looks like they got a big run going, but Truex is giving a big shove to Bowman down the back straightaway. This inside line just has a slight advantage right now, but I mean, if Logano can finally clear Bowman, maybe he'll be able to slide down in front of him and really take control of both of the lines. Man, right now it's just 2 lines that are in a dead heat. Really, nobody's able to make up any ground right now. So we'll have to see which line finally prevails. Or will we see a third line for the first time in pack racing at Daytona with the Gen 7? And we they're like, these lines are just in a dead heat. Like, nobody can edge out in front of the other. And going to be Bowman just edging out Logano kind of once again off the exit of turn 4. Logano's going to be getting a good shove from Harrison Burton, though, at the line. And who's going to lead it? It looks like maybe Logano by an edge. Yes, it looks like Logano led that past lap just ever so slightly. Or maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, I think it was actually Bowman by just the slightest amount. And they are just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Burton and Logano are just locked together down the straightaways, man. Like, he's given Logano some great pushes. Yeah, right now, Biffle's hanging in this lead draft towards the very end of this lead pack. The second to last car, and Hill has already lost the lead draft, and he's nearly half a lap down already. Is Villeneuve still on the track? Yes, he is. So unless Hill gets a lucky break with a caution that maybe wrecks out Biffle, I don't see Hill racing his way in tonight. Like, Yaley was slow, but Hill looks even slower. He's already half a lap down after 10 laps. Man, Bowman and Logano just keep going back and forth nonstop. 10 laps into the second duel. Looks like the outside line kind of got checked up there for a bit. This is going to allow Bowman to get out front and give that inside line just a bit of an advantage. But now they kind of get everything settled back together, and this outside line is going to have a big run heading down to turns 1 and 2, it looks like. Now Logano trying to work out ahead of Bowman down the back straightaway. These like this is literally just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, nobody can really get an edge right now. But also, guys, little fun fact. Right now, Brad Keselowski is your points leader. If the season ended at this very second, Brad Keselowski would be your 2022 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Like, okay, Timmy Hill is like actually like really, really slow. Like, really slow. I'm not trying to be like, not trying to talk bad about him, but like, in terms of the lead pack is going 190 and he's going like 169, like 170, 20 miles an hour slower. And then compared to other cars that aren't in the draft, he's going like high 190, 160s, and Almirola is going like 180 flat, high 170s. So like he's even slow compared to other cars that aren't in the draft by like 10 miles an hour. And we're in our first commercial break of duel number 2, but the TV may be on break, but I'm certainly not. Yeah, this lead pack still has 18 cars in it. David Reagan and Greg Biffle kind of at the end of that. See, Eric Almirola kind of just fell off that lead pack, and I think I don't know if it was getting too spicy for him or what. I don't know if he meant to fall that far behind and lose the draft. Probably didn't, but either way, Almirola's going to need a caution to get back up near the front of this thing. He started on the front row, and then he just dropped like a rock. Didn't drop like a rock, but just got out of there. So he could have qualified if there wasn't duels. He would have been starting this race in 4th. But right now, if this were to be the end of the duels, he would start this race in 38th. Guys, that is like a big difference. Appreciate everybody watching right now. Can we get 44 likes for NY Racing? Do it for the Biff. Dude, I'm sipping that tea to keep my throat alive, guys. Talking so much. See, I'm just kind of trying to keep tabs on this lead pack because in the first duel, things really got separated. Like, the lead pack only had like 12 or 13 cars heading into the green flag pit stops, and they were all just training single file. And then after green flag pit stops, everything got crazy and everybody got super spread out. But right now, everybody's still maintaining side-by-side battling in this lead pack. I mean, if they keep going like this, somebody gives just a bit too much of a shove in the wrong place, may see something crazy happen. have our first big one of the next gen era. Man, this is like a long commercial break, man. I feel like this page froze. Let's see. Is it still going? Is it still going? Okay, this thing. Okay, guys. The NASCAR website has crashed. That's okay. I'm so confused. So Bowman's not in lead anymore. This thing's totally wrong. Maybe the raw feed will be right. No, it's not. So I'm going to exit that out and try and get the leaderboard back up for you, because now it's Logano out front leading the inside line, and Bowman's been shuffled way back. Yeah, it's still messed up. So, guys, I guess you just have to see me. So right now, Biffle's actually worked his way up in this pack. He's up to 14th. Now he's moved up to 12th. But right now, Austin Dillon and Ty Dillon, the Dillon brothers, are leading it at Daytona right now. And they're going to try and move up to block that outside line. Ty Dillon's not going to be able to slide up in time. And now Buescher's working his way to the front. Are we going to get an RFK sweep of the Daytona Duels? Bowman's dropped almost all the way to the back of this lead pack that still has about 18 cars in it. Now, they've already put Timmy Hill a lap down in 15 laps. That gives you guys perspective of just how slow he's going. Biffle's worked his way up into the top 10 right now. And you got Buescher and Dillon working together on the inside line. Then you got Stenhouse and Harvick working together on the outside line. Behind them, you got Ty Dillon, Logano, McDowell, LaJoie, Burton, and Biffle in your top 10. Inside line gets a good run off turn 4. It's going to be Buescher who's going to lead lap 17 of 60. Right now, Buescher moves up to block that outside line. That's being led by Stenhouse in turns 1 and 2. So Hamlin has actually dropped down to this like battle for the lead just because things were getting pretty crazy, and he didn't want to risk wrecking his car. Shield X Biffle the GOAT. The GOAT. Biff the GOAT. Biff's up to 7th now. I think he's actually leading that outside line. No, he's the second outside line. And right now you kind of got a 4-car breakaway style, and it's led by Chris Buescher, then Stenhouse, Harvick. And that's Michael McDowell. But the inside line comes the outside line. They kind of moved up to the outside line. The inside line comes charging back. And then you got Stenhouse now leading the outside line and Buescher leading the inside line. Stenhouse out in front at the stripe. Now they head down into turns 1 and 2. Buescher gets a great push from Austin Dillon and Ty Dillon on the inside line. Now they're going to edge out ahead of Ricky Stenhouse and Kevin Harvick. Down the back straightaway, which line's going to get the big run? Stenhouse gets a big run. That inside line only has about 4 cars in it right now, and the outside line's stacked up with about 8. So, and Logano's going to move up to the outside line. It looks like he's going to try and slot in behind Michael McDowell. Buescher moves down to block the inside line. He gets a good shove from Austin Dillon. Now Stenhouse is going to get a big run into the tri-oval. Buescher's going to try to block it. He's going to be able to block it. Buescher's going to lead it at the stripe. Buescher's doing a great job of working his way in between lanes right now. Now, this is some real plate racing we're seeing right here, ladies and gentlemen. So Stenhouse giving Buescher a bump. Buescher's actually had some pretty decent moments at the super speedways over the last year or so. These top 5 are all about single file. Austin Dillon's trying to slide up in front of his brother in that 6th spot. And now, actually, everything's kind of gotten single file, and your top 10 are all single file. Things were getting pretty crazy. And then they all kind of just like are moving back and forth. And now I've just got about 1 line just training around the top. And everybody's single file now. We went from 2 wide throughout the entire field. Now everybody's single file. And I'll go through your running order in terms of where everybody is in this train. Stenhouse is looking to make a move on Buescher, but he isn't making one yet. But, you know, Stenhouse is not going to be content riding in second for long. But it goes Buescher, Stenhouse, Harvick, McDowell, Logano, your top 5. Then Burton, Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, Biffle, and Kyle Busch, your top 10. Then LaJoie, Ware, Reagan, Bell, Wallace, top 15. Hamlin, Truex, and Bowman, your top 18. And then after that, it's Almirola, but he's lost the lead draft, and Timmy Hill, who's also lost the lead draft, as well as Jacques Villeneuve, who's a couple laps down, and he's having some sort of issue with his car. Now, towards the back of the pack, it looks like some guys have moved down to form an inside line to try and get by some guys. That line's led by Christopher Bell. And we are going to go to our second commercial break with 21 laps complete. Let's see if the NASCAR ticker is actually... Hey, we're at 28 likes. I appreciate it. We're only 16 away from 44. Hopefully we can hit that goal. Is okay, now it's working again, guys. So I'm gonna put this. Oops. There we go. Now I'm gonna put the leaderboard back up there. So there we go. We got that working again. And so now it's Chris Buescher leading Stenhouse, Harvick, Michael McDowell, Joey Logano. And the Biff is still up in 9th. And you got Jacques Villeneuve and Timmy Hill, the only 2 cars, 1 lap down. This lead pack will be coming to put Eric Almirola lap down here pretty soon, it looks like. Oh, and is Timmy Hill pulled off the track? I may be wrong, but I don't know. This leaderboard looks pretty wonky right now. It keeps going all over the place. But in terms of lap times, last lap time by Jacques Villeneuve and Timmy Hill ran the same exact time, but those lap times were 3 seconds slower than the leaders. And right now you got Fords all throughout your top 5, and the only oddball is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 2nd place. And it looks like Bowman's kind of lost that lead draft, as well as the 2 Rick Ware cars. But the Rick Ware cars are working together, so they may be able to kind of hang on to the tail of that lead pack. And now they're still training. They've just moved from the top down to the bottom. And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of keep going and they just train it around the track till they get to the green flag pit stops. And green flag pit stops are going to be big. So that's going to be the big moment when the field maybe gets shaken up a bit. But right now, with Chris Buescher in front, that means there would be a 2-car, the RFK sweep of the duels. Now, I would not be mad about that. And if RFK sweeps the duels, Lionel better may offer like a RFK sweep set. That would be great. I'm sure I would definitely buy that. And they're coming up to put Eric Almirola lap down as they go down the back straightaway. I think Eric Almirola will probably try to tag along to the rear of this lead pack to get in on their draft. Yeah, Bowman's officially lost the lead draft, as well as it looks like Reagan and Cody Ware. So unless those guys are able to make up some ground during green flag pit stops, they're going to be non-factors. Or if we get a caution, they'll get knocked back right into it. But otherwise, probably not. Corey LaJoie makes moves on a line to try and pick up some grounds, but that doesn't work out for him. He's going to the rear of this lead pack. And there's actually kind of formed a gap between the 2 Dillon brothers and 7th and 8th. There's about a 4/10 gap between Austin and Ty. And so this lead pack may be able to break away, but this is pretty similar to what we saw in the first duel. The lead, there at least like 5, 6, 7 cars are able to kind of break away from the rest of the guys when they're going single file. But right now, the Biff riding around in 9th. He may be able to actually sneak up a couple spots. And oh, the Toyotas are pitting. The Toyotas are pitting, as well as Corey LaJoie. They had all worked their way towards the back of the pack over the last couple laps. And they are pitting with 20. Oh, Hamlin messes up. Hamlin is in the grass, and Hamlin spinning around on pit road entry. Reagan and Ware have to taste some evasive action. This is bad news for Denny Hamlin. Now, I don't know if this is somebody else's fault or Hamlin locked it up, but Hamlin spins it into the grass. And so he is going to be like, he's going to be all by himself once all this cycles out. And it's going to be Kyle Busch, Bell, Truex, Wallace, then Corey LaJoie off pit road, then Reagan and Cody Ware, and Denny Hamlin's still doing his service. So he's probably going to lose a lap here. That's not what they wanted to happen for Denny Hamlin, but if anybody can work their way through the field in the big show, it's Hamlin. Let's look. So I don't think he actually got like, I think he just locked it up unless Truex goes, oh, he tries to go the outside of Bubba. Oh, okay. So I think he was trying to maybe make a move to the outside of Bubba Wallace, and Bubba just kind of moved up. And I wouldn't say it's Bubba's fault. I think if anything, Hamlin got over ambitious, and Hamlin just kind of misjudged that. That's really just Hamlin's fault. He tried to get a little too aggressive there. But, I mean, you'd rather learn that lesson in the duel than in the big show. But still, the Fords and Chevys haven't pitted yet. So the Toyotas pitting definitely didn't force them into pitting. Didn't force their hand. Especially since the Toyotas and the one Chevy of LaJoie are only going to have about, that'll be like 5 cars working together. And then you got this lead pack of like 6 cars. So they won't really be able to hang with them, it looks like. Also, there has been a gap now between Harrison Burton in 6th and Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon, and Greg Biffle. So that lead draft has kind of broken up a bit, actually. Appreciate everybody watching. We're at 29 likes, only 15 away from the like goal of 44. Right now, 28 votes for which open car gets in. 82% say Biffles, 18% say Hill, and it looks like you guys are going to be right. Hill has really no pace at all, which isn't necessarily surprising, but he literally isn't even able to be competitive really. But Hill and Jacques Villeneuve have gone 2 laps down, and Hamlin, Ware, and Alex Bowman and Almirola are all 1 lap down, but things will cycle out once we kind of go through flag pit stops. But it does look like green flag pit stops are going to benefit the Chevys and hurt the Toyotas. Now they're at the halfway point this time by in duel number 2, and it has definitely had a lot more action than the first duel, but we have not seen a caution. We may not see one yet, or we may not see one tonight. So we may have to wait till the big show on Sunday to see our first big accident of the next gen era. Now, right now they're just talking about the broadcast as Greg Biffle literally has this transfer spot on lock unless he makes a mistake entering pit road and has a speeding penalty like Garala, because that'll kind of put him in a box. So you got the Chevy of Stenhouse and the Chevys of Dillon, the Dillon brothers and Biffle. Then you got the Fords, the Penske Fords, the RFK Ford, and these guys are all going to be pitting together here somewhat pretty soon, I think. We'll have to see. They don't have to pit for another 10 laps. So we'll just have to wait and see, and then it'll be interesting to see how everybody cycles out. They may end up putting these Toyotas a lap down before they pit. And then if they put them a lap down, that means they're definitely going to be coming out of green flag pit stop still with the lead. And they may even be able to, once they get close to these Toyotas, they may be able to get some of the draft off back of 4 Toyotas. So right now, Villeneuve and Hill are just drafting together. They're 2 laps off the pace, and really Hill is probably not going to catch a Biffle unless Biffle gets crashed out. So I'd say the battle for the transfer spot is just about over, but I don't want to jinx it. Yeah, the Fords and Chevys are gaining on this pack of Toyotas fast. I really wonder if they're going to be able to catch them here with only 5 cars. So they're just about even in numbers, but they're gaining in on them fast. As soon as they catch these Toyotas, I wouldn't be surprised if they dive into pit road, but we'll still have to wait and see. But yeah, the Dillon brothers and Greg Biffle have lost this kind of lead pack of Chevys and Fords. So they're going to probably be kind of lost in a bind. And here they come. Logano's diving it way in there. He's making up all the spots as they enter pit road. Logano goes from 6th all the way up to 2nd when they come to the pit road stripe. That was a great pit road entrance there by a veteran. It'll be interesting to see how they come off pit road. Logano's already out of his pit stall. They just changed right sides and put in some gas. So did Stenhouse. That's what I think most of these are going to do. Right now, it looks like it's going to be McDowell. It's going to be Logano, Busher, McDowell, Burton, Harvick, and then Stenhouse. And, I mean, Logano came into pit road in the last of these cars, and after a great pit road entrance and a fast pit stop, Logano is going to be leading this pack of Fords and Chevys. Greg Biffle has lost the lead draft, but he's about to peel off pit road. But Greg Biffle's safe. Like, Hill is like 2 laps down. He's probably going to go 3 laps down before this thing's over. So he's going to have to lose a ton of time for somehow Biffle, for Hill to get back by Biffle under green. And now it's going to be interesting to see how these Chevys and Fords mix back together with the Toyotas. Will the Toyotas even be close? It doesn't look like it. It also kind of looks like Stenhouse kind of lost this pack of Fords, and now it's going to just be 5 Fords out here battling for the lead. So this is just like the first duel, actually. It's going to be just Fords coming to the end. The Chevrolets were fast, but they kind of messed it up under pit stops and lost that lead draft. So you have Logano, Busher, McDowell, Burton, and those 4 guys are kind of in their own lead pack. Oh, the Dillon brothers actually kind of tagged each other just a bit on pit road, it looks like. Looks like Austin forgot where his pit stall was, and he had to almost like make a quick brake check and almost brake checked his brother Ty. So you got these top 4. You got the 2 Penske cars, you got the RFK car, and you got McDowell. And then Harvick was near these guys, but he lost their draft, so Harvick's fallen back. Stenhouse also was near these guys, but both Harvick and Stenhouse lost this lead draft of the top 4. And then way back behind them, you've got the Dillon brothers, Biffle, and the Toyotas, but they're about 10 seconds back. So unless we get a caution, I think this ending is going to shape up pretty much the same way as the first duel. Man, guys, the NASCAR website is really lagging out today. Like, it's behind, it's delayed again. Hey, we're at 30 likes, only 14 away from the goal of 44 for NY Racing. We're slowly creeping up on it. Can we hit it before the stream ends? It'll be close. It'll be close. Appreciate anybody watching tonight. We just hit 1,700 subscribers today. So I really appreciate it. Well, we hit it yesterday, and then we lost one, and we hit it again today. Also, guys, if any of you are wondering if I'll be live streaming on Sunday, I will not be. I will be hanging out with some friends and other people, and I will be posting a reaction video after the race, so that way you guys can at least see my thoughts on the race and things like that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hyped for the Truck Series race tomorrow. Smoke on the tires. How about Cendric getting second in the first duel? I know that was pretty much out of nowhere. I think the more crazy thing about that finish was he just bailed on Blaney going down the back straightaway, and I was like, oh my, I was just so surprised he did that. Because honestly, if he goes with Blaney, they're probably both going to go around Brad, and he may even be able to slingshot around Blaney coming to the stripe. And yeah, the 55 got passed by the 50 on the last lap. I know, like, I wanted Gerala to make it, but I don't know why, but I started to like feel bad for Yaley, and I was like, Gerala made the mistake. Yaley's been doing an all right job. Like, he's got way more pace than Hill has, and their teammates. And so I wouldn't have been mad with Yaley making it. And then I just felt bad because there's just nothing he could do on the last lap through turns 3 and 4. Gerala just went right by. But congrats to the 50 team, the money team racing, or the money team. I mean, they made mistakes, but they were able to clutch it up in the end. Now they're in the 500. You know, I'm going to end this poll because there's like no way Biffle does not get in. I kind of just totally jinxed it, but now if he doesn't get in, you guys can blame me. Wow. It's a 4-car breakaway. And, I saw Toyota of Hamlin, but he was the one who made the mistake on pit road, so he's a lap down right now. So it's a 4-car breakaway led by Logano, then Buescher, McDowell, Burton. And then you've basically got Harvick and Stenhouse, who are just basically in the middle of nowhere because they were trying to stay with that top 4 and basically lost them during green flag pit stops. And now they're basically going to try and just work together to maybe catch up to them a bit, but I think it's more likely that they get caught by the group behind them, and then they work together to catch that lead group. Yeah, so right now, before we went to commercial, okay, so pretty much the gap between the lead group and the group of Toyotas of Kyle Busch, Bell, Truex, and Wallace, it was 11 seconds before break, and it's 11 seconds after break. So if they get help from Stenhouse and Harvick, maybe they can make up some ground, but I'm assuming it's going to go just like the first duel, and the Fords are just going to be able to maintain the gap, and they'll duel it out amongst themselves at the finish. So right now they're just basically saying that Toyotas were 0.3 faster than the Fords, but I'm like, even if they're 0.3 faster, they're 11 seconds behind with 20 to go. They need to be, how many would they have to be to catch them in that time span? They got to be like half a second faster each lap to catch them. So unless we get a caution, it looks like these Fords have got to unlock. We also have the first retirement of the weekend. Jacques Villeneuve retires, but he already qualified his way in on speed, so he's in the 500. And the Toyotas go by the duo of Stenhouse and Harvick, who lost that lead draft. Now they're going to try and latch on to the back of the Toyotas draft. It's going to be close if they're going to be able to. If they can get 2 more cars, they may be able to catch the Toyotas some more, or the Ford some more. And they just slice their way through the duo of Harvick and Stenhouse. And now the gap's down to 10.8 seconds. So they took about a decent amount out of that lead last lap. So we'll have to see if they can continue to mount that charge. So yeah, last lap, Logano ran a 47.7 and Kyle Busch ran a 47.6. So like a tenth or 2 faster. So not a huge gap. But now the gap's 10.5, the gap from Logano to Kyle Busch. They do have more cars in that group. That they have like 6 cars or 7 cars and like 7 strong cars in that second group trying to catch that lead pack. And now it's 18 to go. Oh, Harvick's now losing this group, so he's just falling back even more. Stenhouse was able to latch on, but Harvick does not look like he's going to be able to. So that's just about it for Harvick tonight if this thing goes green at the end. And so it's going to be 17 to go next time by. And it looks like the group of Toyotas and the Chevrolet of Stenhouse will be able to get that gap just down to about 10 seconds. And Biffle's just hanging out with his buddy Alex Bowman. They're going to be going a lap down here in the next 5 laps or so. And they're just chilling. But Hill's now 3 laps down, so unless Biffle blows an engine or crashes out, he can just cruise to the finish. So yeah, now you got this group of 5 cars trying to chase down the Fords. Now the gap's under 10 seconds, but that's still a distance of about nearly the entire back straightaway. Now, if they are going to catch the Fords, they're going to catch up to Hamlin and the 2 Rick Ware cars. And if those guys can join this group of Toyotas, they may also be able to allow to give them a bit more of a speed advantage. So now at the stripe, it'll be how many to go? 15 to go at this time at the line, and the gap is down to about 9.6. So the Toyotas are putting a lot more of a fight than the Fords, than the Chevys and the Toyotas did in the first duel. The second pack's doing a lot better than the second pack did in the first duel. That's how I should phrase that. But I don't know if it's going to be enough still. I mean, obviously a caution will immediately bunch up the field. And if there is a caution, Hamlin will be the free pass car, and that'll put 16 cars on the lead lap. But with 15 to go this time at the stripe, I misspoke. I said 15 last time, but that was 16 to go. With 15 to go this time at the stripe, we'll check the interval once again. And, oh man, they're still not showing the interval, but in terms of miles per hour, they're just ever so slightly faster in terms of mile per hour average, that second pack, than the first pack. So now the gap's 8.3 seconds. Kyle Busch to Logano. So they are mowing into him. They're mowing into him. And I think Kyle Busch is going to try and go around the two Rick Ware cars and then Hamlin, who are both all lapped down. And then if those guys can just latch on to the end of this pack of about 5 cars, they can just slowly continue to eat in to this group of Fords. It's going to be 8 seconds, the gap that time at the stripe with 14 to go. Last time by there, 0.8 of a second quicker. My goodness. So Hamlin's going to try and get in the draft of this pack and join up with his other Toyota teammates. But they're going so much faster, he may not be able to. It's going to be really close. Now this time, it looks like the Fords actually gained some time on the Toyotas. But the Toyotas did kind of have to work around that group of cars, so. So that time, last lap, they were a mile per hour slower than the lead pack. So they lost about 0.4 or so. So this time, they've really got to have a great lap here. You got 5 Toyotas lined up. You got the 4 Gibbs cars and the 23XI car of Bubba Wallace. Can they eat into that group, that lead pack of Fords? Sten has fallen off this pack, so he's not there to provide assistance anymore. But wow. Last time by the Fords, they ran a fast lap. So it's ending up just like the last duel. It's going to be the Fords duking it out at the end. Man, the Toyota, every time is the second pack kind of made it interesting, but you almost think the first pack maybe was just kind of holding off for a bit. So basically, it sounds like they realized that second pack was catching them, and then the spotters, crew chiefs kind of radioed around. You know what? Busher, McDowell, Burton, we've got to work together here and just push it to the finish, and it'll be us 4 duking it out amongst ourselves. And as long as we do that, we won't have to worry about the second pack coming up and catching us. This first pack is rolling. They're pulling away. Okay, I think the big takeaway from the duels is the Fords are fast. Heather, interviewing Jacques Villeneuve, so I want to hear this. So you got Biffle and Bowman who are about to go a lap down, but Biffle's one of the open cars trying to qualify his way in, but Hill's 3 laps down. Biffle's still on the lead lap for now, so he's pretty much safe. With 10 laps to go, the Fords really just put some laps together. With only 4 of them versus the 5 Toyotas, they just built out their lead by over a second in the last lap or so. And now these Fords go by Bowman and Biffle, putting them a lap down. And that leaves only 13 cars on the lead lap. And soon they'll be catching LaJoy and the Dillon brothers, and they'll be putting those guys a lap down soon. It'll be interesting if Logano can get the dual win. Can he keep his winning tradition going? I mean, he got the Busch Clash W, and now can he get his dual W? Smoke on tires. We trying to see what you're saying. He wants to see what he could do, but Blaney lost speed by jumping out, and Cendric didn't want to lose third because the 14 would have passed them both and no way to catch up. They need the Fords to start trying to pass more. I have a really good feeling about Cendric in the 500. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now the Fords have got this one in the bag unless we get a caution. But we'll see. They're about to put another group of 4 cars a lap down, including the Dillon brothers, LaJoy, and Almirola. But either way, all these Fords are guaranteed top 4 finishing position. The only really thing I could worry about is when these guys try to dice it out amongst themselves in the last couple laps, as if they end up wrecking each other. I really want Buescher to win, just so that we can get the RFK sweep. And Buescher or McDowell. I mean, I'm okay with any of them, but Buescher or McDowell preferably. I mean, these Fords are pulling away a big margin over the Toyotas. Like right now, I'm looking at the times. The Fords are looking like they may dominate this weekend. If we see any long green flag runs with green flag pit stops, the Fords are going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. And there are going to be a lot of I guess if you think about it, you're going to have the 2 Chevys on the front row with Larson and Bowman. And then you're going to have 4 rows of Fords behind them. Wow, I can't believe it. But Mike Joyce, in the last time since it's been caution-free in both duels was 2003, so nearly 20 years. But these top 4 just continuing to pull away, putting more and more cars a lap down. Only 10 cars still on the lead lap in this duel, and they may put another one a lap down before this thing's over. And they'll be coming to 5 to go next time by. And 5 to go in the first duel was when they started to dice things up. That was when Keselowski made his move that would eventually end up winning him his duel. And I'm pretty certain if Chris Buescher tries to make a move, I think McDowell will go with him. Now, I obviously think Burton's going to stay loyal to Logano, but in the first duel, I thought Cendric was going to stay loyal to Blaney, and he didn't. So we'll have to see. Oh, Dillon is pulling off. Maybe they didn't get enough fuel in that car, but either way, he's having to make an unscheduled pit stop. Austin Dillon on pit road. That's going to make him have a worse starting spot than he wanted for the 500. And allow some other guys to pick up a couple spots before this thing's over. But still, he just got Buescher hugging the bumper of Logano. He's all over him. They'll be going to go. Wow, Buescher's giving him a big shove. They're actually kind of pulling away from McDowell just a bit. And now that push has kind of died off. Now Buescher's falling back to McDowell. And with 4 to go, top 4 are still staying even. You can tell they're sizing each other up. They're thinking about making a move. A kind of weird unknown variable in this group is Corey LaJoy's now latched onto the rear of this group. He's a lap down. But if they start to make some moves, maybe he'll just randomly give a push to somebody that can make a difference. And they put Timmy Hill another lap down. I think it's safe to say Timmy Hill will not make the 500. Neither MBO. So this was not a great outing for that team. But it looks like the Biff will be making it. 3 to go this time by. Three to go. Who's going to make a move and when will it be? You think those Toyotas will probably start to make some moves themselves too before this thing's over? $32 likes right now. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in tonight. Down the back straightaway, 3 to go. I know that our Brad Keselowski would love for those cars to sweep the duels, and I would too. And here they're putting Austin Dillon another lap down after he made that unscheduled pit stop just a moment ago. And they're going to be coming to 2 to go at Daytona in the second duel. This time at the stripe, Logano, Buescher, McDowell, Burton. Who's going to make the move? Sorry, my dog is barking. He's being a dog. And they're going to probably put Harvick a lap down before this thing's over. He's only about maybe 20 car lengths ahead of this pack, so he may also have a role in this somehow. 2 to go. Nobody's making a move still. This is like the 2020 or 2021 Daytona 500. Wait until literally in the last lap. I think it may be too late now. And as they're putting Harvick a lap down, this may allow somebody to move out of the way and go somewhere and think about making a move. And no, nobody's going to make a move as they go and put Harvick a lap down. The white flag is out. It's Logano, Buescher, McDowell, Burton into turns 1 and 2. They're putting Reagan another lap down. McDowell's on the bumper of Buescher. Is Buescher going to poke to the inside? Yes, he will. Logano makes the block. Logano wrecks. Logano wrecks. And Burton wrecks. Oh, Logano made the big block like he said he would. And that ends it. And McDowell is going to win. McDowell is going to win. And Logano's wrecking. We're going to have to see a replay here, but it looks like Logano kind of just was over-aggressive. So I'm not sure who wins. We'll have to see here in a second. But it looks like Burton also got a good amount of damage.
It will be where those cars were at the moment of caution. It has nothing to do with score and lose.
And Biffle is going to get his way into the 500. Not too big of a surprise there with how things have been going over the last couple laps, but wow, and the NASCAR website is like keeps crashing. Like it this, oh goodness, whatever. Yeah, Burton's also I don't know if he's going to a backup car or not, but most likely if they are able to. They may not be able to though, because they're all kind of out of that same stable, the Wood Brothers and Penske car. So I mean, if they only have one backup, I'm sure Logano's going to get the priority there. I mean, he's the one who definitely needs it more. So it looks like Chris Buescher is going to win the second duel. So here, they're looking at a replay. So as they go through turns 1 and 2, Buescher kind of comes back to McDowell's bumper, and McDowell's giving him a push. They exit turn 2. Buescher kind of makes a move low. He's going low. He's going low. And Logano, just a late block. It was just too late. He makes the late block. He puts himself on the wall, and he also gives some damage to Harrison Burton. So I actually, from this angle, it definitely looks like Harrison Burton's going to a backup car. I also wonder if Buescher will go to a backup car because he definitely made some contact with Logano there when Logano came down and blocked him. McDowell just barely missed that. Now, I don't know if they've actually announced if it's going to be Chris Buescher or Michael McDowell yet. I still can't totally tell. So yeah, Chris Buescher, it says they've officially announced, is the winner. So the RFK sweep, I joked it before this thing started, and they actually did it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was just a late block by Logano. I mean, he had to try and do something. It may have been smarter just like let them go by and try and let Burton give him a push and then get a run by him in the turns 3 and 4. But there, it's your first big crash of the 2022 season. And Logano the damage didn't look actually too bad. Like, it was a pretty hard hit, but it didn't look terrible. And in terms of like, a lot of people are saying that these cars are probably going to fall apart, but the car looked kind of stiff, honestly. So the RFK car sweep. How about that? How about that? Shield X, but if you close your eyes, but what's it? But if you close your eyes, like what moment is it referring to? What does it remind you of? I'm trying to think, like, what other time did Logano throw a late block? Or that caused himself to wreck. So you got the Fastenal car and the color car. Now I really wonder if Lionel's going to offer like a 2-car set, because that'd be really cool. It's Busher. So you're going to have the 2 Hendrick cars on row 1, and then you're going to have the 2 RFK cars on row 2. And so I guess it looks like Logano finished 9th still, but he's going to have to go to a backup car. But he did get the 2 points that went along with that. And Harvick got 10th. Appreciate everybody who's been watching tonight. We're at 34 likes. Also, guys, if you want to keep on your TVs at 10 o'clock, there's 100,000 cameras, Busch Clash edition, and I believe we're going to be a part of that on FS1. And it came down in front of him. McDowell missed that by like an inch. So yeah, it was pretty clear now that they're showing the replay that Busher was ahead at the moment of caution by about maybe a car length. But the RFK car sweet, man, that is like so cool. I'm totally chilling with that. That's sweet. I'm gonna end this here in just a moment. But I appreciate everybody who tuned in this evening. And I mean, guys, so here I'm gonna go through the why do they throw the caution? They threw the caution because he wrecked. Like off turn 4, they don't want those Toyotas flying through there and drilling Logano. Now I want to be updated the starting order for the 500. Let's see. I highly doubt they have on the website, but we'll see. Okay, well, it's not on this. I thought it'd be over here.
For 3 generations, Sargento has stood for real, natural cheese. Because when you make it real,
We're looking.
the power of real. Sargento, we're real cheese people.
We're looking.
Call Logano. Hey, Joey.
Yeah, I can't find it on here. Maybe it's on. Well, I mean, I could probably just kind of use my brain to figure out what the starting lineup for the Daytona 500 will be. Maybe it's on the website or the app.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like.
Those are the actual ingredients.
Yeah, no, it's not giving me the actual lineup, but I could try and figure it out. It'll just take a second. Oh, not the weekend schedule. I keep clicking the wrong thing. My bad, guys. Where's the schedule? I just want the schedule. All right, maybe here. All right, wait. Let's try to figure this out. Okay. So here's what your Daytona 500 lineup is going to look like, guys. So you're gonna have Kyle Larson on the front row. And then you're going to, oh, wow, this thing still hasn't updated. Why is it so slow? Okay, here it is. Here it is. So on the front row, you're going to have Larson and on the inside, Bowman on the side, and then you'll have Brad Keselowski on the inside, Chris Buschard is outside, and then you'll have Austin Cindric, the rookie, with the reigning Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell making number 3, and then you're going to have Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch, I assume, because I think Harrison will go to a backup car. So it'll be Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney making up row number 3. Then you'll have Chase Briscoe. Wait, no, row number 4. Row number 4, I keep forgetting that the 2 pole cars are on front. Then you'll have row number 5 will be Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell. Row number 6, Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. And then Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, Reddick, and then Bubba Wallace will be your top 12. This is too hard for me to think my way through, but that late block.
25 pounds of fuel pressure. Everything happened tonight, but we finished 14th, and maybe that fuel stop wasn't perfect because I might have been in that wreck.
So Biffle's happy that he's in the 500. I'm just so glad that Biffle's in the 500. Yeah, that 22 car, that front end is just junked. Because he just got turned head on in the outside wall there. But I'm going to be ending it here in a second. Congrats to RFK and getting the win tonight. It was a great stream tonight, guys. Thanks for all of you who watched, the 35 of you guys who liked. We're at 1,700 subscribers again. I won't be live tomorrow. Maybe we'll be live Saturday with the Xfinity race. And, yeah, that's all I got to say. Have a good one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And that's all you'll be hearing from me. I'm out.